So earlier, we talked a little bit about Shaq. He needs to stop hating on Wemby. Apparently, our boy Danny Green came to the defense of Wemby, so we never had to do that segment. Let's listen.
Been on one. I don't know what's going on in his life, but he's been on something. So he said, if he played against Wemby and Chet, he would have made both of them quit.
Just a reminder, by the way, the question that was asked wasn't, Shaq, how would you guard or how would you do against Wemby or Chet? That was not the question. The question was, do you think Wemby and Chet will change the landscape of the NBA and how big men play the ball? And his response was, I could take them. No, unprompted. No one asked that. Yeah.
Are you buying that?
Well, Wemby does not seem like a kid that would ever quit on anything. But I understand when I'm recently retired. When you're one of those retired guys, I feel like Shaq is just one of those guys. He always has to prove or show or feel like people forget. So it's like, yo, you're going to respect me. I was one of those guys. So I feel like he always has to kind of show.
But like, why? Shaq would not be able to, like, it just is what it is. He wouldn't be able to guard Wemby, but it's also stupid to just take players and put them in other eras. It's so stupid. I hate that so much. What do you have to prove? Shaq has championships. What do you have to prove? I mean, everyone, when anybody brings up the conversation of greatest big man, they still say Shaq. It's like these older players, bro, and I think it's just people in general as they get older. And this is why I don't want to fall into this, man. I don't want to fall into this as we grow older, right? Me in the chat here. I don't want to build up a certain amount of entitlement that say, because I went through this or because I did this, therefore you have to kiss my butt, 18, 19-year-old. That's so silly. And if they think back on when they were 18 or 19, no, they would not do this. Like, yeah, they respected the people that came before them, you know, to an extent, but they wouldn't kiss their butt about it, right? The only reason why Shaq respected the people before him is because he grew up watching those players. A lot of these players that are in the NBA right now didn't grow up watching Shaq. They grew up watching the other players that came before them, the Dames, the Stephs. You know, they grew up watching the LeBrons. You know, that's what they grew up to watch. So like, it's just gonna constantly be that they're gonna give respect for the generation before them, and then go on, and that want to give respect to the generation before them. But like, they're not gonna look back 2 decades and just say, oh yeah, Shaq, yeah, I really love Shaq. Like, no, I mean, and that's another thing too. How much praise do these old heads actually need? How much praise do you need, my man? Because you're disrespecting Wemby, but Wemby has been nothing but respectful to those who came before him. He's constantly talking about, you know, the guys that he watched and guys that he looked up to, and like, yeah, he says KD, but he also says a lot of other guys that he respected. He loves the game. So like, how much praise do you need? You know, it's ridiculous. It's kind of like, it kind of reminds me of, you know, you guys know, we'll continue this video, but you guys know I'm a huge Eminem fan, right? And Eminem, non-stop, every album, he will have a verse or several verses where he is praising guys that you never even heard of before, like 80s rappers or whatnot, that he just loved growing up, and he gives them all the respect in the world. And there's still old heads that will say Eminem is just a visitor in the house of hip hop. They'll say he doesn't deserve to be. Like, how much praise do you have to give to the generations before you, bro? Like, how much do you need? Because you still don't give people respect. Shaq should respect these young guys, man. It's gross, man. It's gross. It's lame. It's pathetic. It's all of that. And the beef that he still has with Dwight Howard is lame too. All right, sorry.
Show and tell always prove that, you know, if I played today, because people say if you play today, you know, this guy would dog, or Jokic is a more skilled player than you, or this person you wouldn't be able to guard.
But no one said that.
And yes, he would have.
I did though.
Bullied these guys. He would have been able to do that on the offensive end of the floor. But on the defensive end of the floor, Shaq would have had problems guarding these guys. There's no way he's stepping out. He was not even comfortable leaving the paint to guard them on the perimeter, to guard them on lone spot. And you know, you can't teach 7'4". These kids are 7'3", 7'4". Shaq, you're not blocking those shots, those jump shots. And they would have given him a lot of hell on that floor. But on the offensive end of the floor for Shaq, yes, he could have been playing bully ball, but it's no different than Joel. We've seen what Joel did to Wemby his rookie year. So it's kind of similar to that, but Wemby's learned from that. He ain't quit against Joel. And Shaq and Joel aren't different, that much different in size when it came to playing. So if he's not quitting against Joel, he's not quitting against Shaq. Chet, I don't know how much he's played. I haven't seen him, you know, match up with those guys in the post like that, but he's not a kid that's going to back down either. And it's at offensive end of the floor, you're going to have your hands full guarding these two guys. So, but I understand Shaq feels, you know, these older generation guys feel disrespected sometimes when the conversation comes up.
They feel disrespected with like, but it's just because no one's talking about them. It's stupid. Shaq has always hated on San Antonio, hated on David Robinson, barely gives Tim Duncan credit. And Tim Duncan gave him a run for his money. Hates on Wemby. It's ridiculous, bro.
That these kids can probably, you know, they have more skilled. Yes, maybe so. They can outdo Shaq, maybe. But yeah, Shaq was the most dominant, and I think he just likes to reiterate that by throwing out these wild examples. So hey, he was one of those guys that could bully ball anybody in the paint, but he would have had some troubles guarding them on the other end.
It's sad, bro. It's sad. Yeah, Shaq would have bullied. Like I said in the other segment, okay? Like I said in the other segment, it all comes down to what era you grew up in. Shaq grew up in an era, or he went into basketball, I mean, in the NBA during an era where the big man was dominant, right? It's all about the center that you have. It's all about the power forward, right? Enforcing your will. And he fit perfectly into that mold, and he developed his game based on that. He didn't have the need to worry about three-point shots. He didn't have the need to worry about his free throw shots. He didn't have the need to worry about jump shots, right? Like, his game was predicated around the paint, and that's why he became what he was, because the guys before him, that's how it was played, and that's how it's played in his era. And then things start to shift, and the reason why Wemby is the way Wemby is because the game shifted, because of guys like KD, right? Because of the versatility that you see in guys that don't really just fit a specific mold like LeBron, because of the crazy amount of three-point shots and utility you get out of a Steph Curry and how unguardable he can be with those three-point shots. That's why he is the way he is. But you can't just be picking and choosing, oh, I'm going to put this player in this era, and I'm going to put this player in this era. Because if Wemby was in Shaq's era, his emphasis, the things basketball-wise, his emphasis would be different. He would play completely different. He wouldn't revolutionize the game. It's a process. He wouldn't just come in right out the gate and just shoot a bunch of threes. A lot of teams would be like, no, we need someone that can pound the paint. We have guards for that. We need somebody to pound the paint. But that's not the situation we're in anymore, you know? So it's very frustrating. And these older guys come out and they're just like, well, what about me? What about me? I know you're saying Wemby's going to change the game, but what about me? I wonder if Shaq is like kind of offended that he wasn't able to like, well, that's not true. I was about to say he didn't change the game. That's not true fully, because a lot of teams, and Shaq was super versatile, especially his younger years, but a lot of teams did try to match Shaq. He was so dominant that they tried to get big men that could also be dominant. So he did change for a period of time. But I don't know if Shaq had the same type of impact like Steph Curry had. Shaq will always hate San Antonio because people barely remember he has ties to San Antonio. There's way more possessions now. Shaq's conditioning will be an issue nowadays. That's another thing, right? That's another thing. I mean, Shaq got into it with Kobe because he was caught eating like a Big Mac or something. I remember that story. Will had a 50-point season in a era when teams scored below 100 points. Sit down, Shaq. Bro, he is not like Angel Reese. Yeah, he's not like Angel. Who said that? Oh, Frosty said that. But yeah, anyways, I'm just tired of it. It's so silly. But Danny Green articulated it perfectly, I think. He's completely right. Like, you got to stop.